If you're planning to sell or buy a home here in Hawaii, then this video is definitely for you. The real estate industry is undergoing some massive changes nationwide, and you need to know what is coming ahead. Over the past few years, we've seen some major lawsuits shake up the real estate industry, specifically targeting the National Association of Realtors and several big real estate brokerages. Fast forward to August 17th of 2024, an NAR settlement has come into effect that is fundamentally changing how real estate transactions happen here in the US. But before we dive deep into these changes, my name is Molly, and I'm a real estate professional living here on the big island of Hawaii. And if you need further clarification of all of these changes, I'll be more than happy to help you using the links below. My goal today is very simple. I want to help you understand the new rules that are coming into play and how they might impact your next real estate transaction here in Hawaii. Whether you are buying or selling or just curious about the market, these changes are crucial to understand and know. There are three big changes that are coming to the real estate industry in 2024, and we will discuss them in detail. The first change is representation. The second is decoupling of compensation. And the third one is significant to the processes and practices that will change how agents and clients interact with real estate transactions. Let's start with the first change, which is representation. Prior to August 17th, buyers had informal relationships with their agents, and in many situations, these buyers were never presented with a buyer's representation agreement. Now, before you even think about visiting open houses with an agent or putting in an offer on a property, you will need to have that buyer's representation agreement in place. You can still attend open houses without a buyer's representation agreement, and if you choose to do so, you are truly stating that you are unrepresented. So please know that open houses are a public event and they are open to everyone. But if you want an agent to schedule a showing for an open house, you will have to have a signed representation agreement. This also applies for buyers who are requesting to see homes virtually or in person with an agent. This practice is now in full force, and any agent showing property without a buyer's representation agreement will be in violation of national and state laws, and the agent will be at risk of getting fined and never getting compensation for their work. Now, what is this buyer's representation agreement? Simply put, it's a legal contract between you, the buyer, the real estate agent, and the agent's brokerage. This agreement is not for public knowledge, and it is not disclosed to sellers or sellers' representatives. This agreement truly outlines the responsibilities of both parties and ensures that your agent is legally committed to working in your best interest. In the event that you do not want representation and want to transact on your own, that is totally valid. But let me share with you why this agreement is very, very, very important. Hawaii's real estate market is very unique with its own set of zoning and housing and property rules and property types and its own market dynamics. We deal with flood zones, we deal with termites, and we deal with many other things that are very unique to Hawaii. Without a buyer's representation agreement, you might find yourself navigating this very complex market alone. With this agreement in place, your agent is fully dedicated in finding you the best property at the best price and always fighting for your best interest. To dive deeper, we will go over the four key components of this agreement. Number one is the scope of services. This section outlines what your agent will do for you, like helping you find properties, setting up viewings, and negotiating with sellers. Your agent will even be able to see properties that are off the market and make those offerings to you available. Number two will be the compensation section. The compensation section is found in term 10A. This section specifies how the agent will be paid. In Hawaii, the seller typically pays the agent's commission, but it is still crucial to understand understand this part. Buyers will have to agree to a compensation amount in this contract with their agent. If the seller agrees to pay compensation to the buyer's brokerage firm, the buyer won't have any out-of-pocket expenses and doesn't need to pay their brokerage firm whatsoever. However, if the amount paid to the buyer's brokerage firm is less than what was agreed in the buyer's representation agreement, the buyer is responsible for paying for the difference. As an example, if your buyer representation agreement states that you are paying your agent 3% and the seller is only paying 1% of the sales price, you will be responsible to pay your agent 2% to make up to the 3%. In some instances, these fees can still be negotiated after the fact, and it is up to the brokerage and its agents to make amendments to this agreement. Number 3 will be location. Some agreements may require you to work exclusively with an agent here in Hawaii on the Hawaii Islands. To avoid this, make sure to specify which island you want to work with that specific agent. This way you can still work with other agents on different islands if you choose to do so. Number 4 will be the duration of the contract. This is how long the agreement lasts, and it could be for a few months or until you decide to purchase property. This duration can be canceled by either party as long as there is notice. The contract may not have the option of notice to engage fully with the agent for a specific period. Keep in mind that the contract can also be drafted to be very property specific. Signing a buyer's representation agreement comes with some huge advantages for buyers. For one, it creates a legal obligation for the agent to prioritize your needs. They're required to provide you with full disclosure, loyalty, and care. Plus, having a dedicated agent can make your home search so efficient and less stressful, as they have a clear understanding of your needs and preferences. Now that we have fully discussed a buyer's representation agreement, let's go on to decoupling of compensations. Here's how compensation worked in the past. The seller will pay a commission to the listing brokerage, who will then split it with the buyer's brokerage. But in the future, we're looking at scenarios where the seller will pay the buyer's brokerage directly through escrow, or the buyer might have to take that responsibility if there's no commission offered to the representing agent. This change means that there's no more sharing of commissions between brokerages. Each side will be responsible for their own payment arrangement, which could lead into more transparency and negotiation power for both parties. Finally, let's talk about advertising offers of buyer's compensation. In the past, listing agents would post buyer's agents' commissions on the MLS for everyone to see, but that is changing on this settlement. Moving forward, these commissions won't be advertised in the same way. Instead, they'll be part of the negotiation process between the buyer and the seller. Listing agents can still communicate whether a seller is offering compensation to the buyer's agent, and this information should be relayed to the buyers so that there's full transparency into how commissions are paid. So let's recap. First, buyer's agents need to enter into an agreement with their clients. Second, compensation is moving towards a model where sellers are directly compensating the buyer's brokerage. And third, offers of compensations will no longer be advertised on the MLS, meaning that every detail is up for negotiation. Now, I know this might feel like a lot of changes, but these updates are designed to create a fair and more transparent real estate market here in Hawaii and nationwide. If you have any questions, or if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now is a perfect time to reach out to a real estate agent like myself so that we can gather all those details and make sure that you are informed and taken care of. Mahalo for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you found that helpful, and subscribe for more updates on the real estate market here in Hawaii so that you can be fully informed on all upcoming changes. I will see you on the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Aloha.